Hey y'all, what's up? I got my bonnet on because I'm about to go to bed. I got my braids underneath. Anyways, I literally fell asleep in the middle of me recording for SmackDown yesterday. I didn't even finish it, so I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow. Well, I'll finish it, post it up. My reviews might be late. Today was exciting, overwhelming. I cried a couple times. I'm highly empathetic. So I cry when I see people cry. I cry when there are happy situations, like in movies, or like at church and someone gives a testimony and it's a real happy outcome. I'm crying. If I'm proud of someone, I'm crying. If someone is upset over something and I can empathize with them, I'm crying. I'm a crier. Okay? I'm an emotional thug. So I don't show emotion a lot, but when I do, I'm either laughing or I'm crying. It really takes a lot for me to get upset, so I'm really not angry like that. So it's always normally one or the other. Today's Royal Rumble, I can't even put into words. I will say, if I had to rank the matches from worst to best, minus the outcomes, like minus who won, it would be the men's Royal Rumble would be the worst. And then I'm trying to think if I would pick the KO Logan one or the Fatal 4-Way one. I'm trying to think because now it's almost 12:30 and I would say I would tie it. They'll both be 2. And then the most exciting for me it was the women's match. And y'all know I stand for the women. I've been down for the women. The first match was, of course, the women. The first woman was Natalya, the legend herself. I knew she was wrestling, even though they didn't show her face on the SmackDown one. But I didn't know what number she was going to be. So for her to come out first, I think was very fitting. She's the longest one that's been in the game. So to me, in my opinion, if they don't do a random like lottery pick like they did, she deserves to come in whenever she wants. Like, she's been there, 17 years? Almost 18 years? Like, if the girl want to come in at 30, let her come in at 30. Okay? The second one was Naomi. And sadly, because I was on Twitter yesterday, people get spoilers. It's another reason why I stopped opening my emails, talking about, look who's going to be there tonight. And but I follow Trinity on Instagram and on X. So when I saw her post the picture of Nick signing her name and put Naomi, we're going to miss you or whatever, I knew she was coming back. That was just a confirmation. And everybody hugging was like, I'm going to miss you, and her retweeting it. But even though I knew, first her music threw me off because I'm so used to her new TNA Trinity music. And at first I had to get used to that music, but then I got used to it and I actually like it better. So the I'm Amazing song threw me off. I want to know if we could remix the two. Like, if we can do her spell out her name, like the Naomi part, and then you'd be like, I'm amazing, that part. And then instead of the bring it to the floor part, then we remix it into Homeboy's rap. But I don't know. I like both songs. I'm glad she used the gear that she had in TNA from Miss Sandra. I'm pretty sure Miss Sandra got a check, okay? Because I think she did her gear, Jade's gear, Cody's gear. She might have did some other people's gear. It was 60 plus people that night that wrestled. So my bonnet. So yeah, so I knew she was coming out, but as soon as she came out, I was like, it's Naomi. And I'm so used to calling her Trinity because not only is that what was her name on for Impact, but last year I had binge watched Total Divas. So of course they show all the stuff behind the scenes. They call the girls by their names, their real names. So for the most part, so when I was like, who, Naomi? I was like, oh, Naomi. Like my brain for half a second. But I cried for a second because I was so happy that she got, that she came back. I was happy that people were clapping, welcome back. Well, she had to hold it in. Like, I don't understand. I don't see how they could do that. Like, how she held it in when they were clapping, welcome back. How Cody held it in when he won. And, for the second time in a row. Like, I would have been bawling my eyes out. And it, like, I don't know, maybe my hearing or something was off, but like I couldn't hear half of the people's music when they first came out. I guess because the crowd was so loud that I didn't know half of the women or men who was coming out, and I know most of their songs because they come out every week. So I was like, what is going on? That's But I was like, I'm glad she got the welcome back chant. I was just kind of upset that it didn't seem as loud as when Bailey came out. And with all due respect, you know what I'm saying? Like Bailey deserves the pop that she got when she came out third. She has been the MVP of 2023 for women, period. And in the main roster, the way that she looks out for her team and sacrifices herself, like she was the MVP for Survivor Series, and I'm pretty sure that she gives tips to the women backstage because I'm thinking about the SmackDown roster. Either most of the women came out, I think, at the same time, or you said it'll almost be 8 years. I mean, she came out in 2016, so she would probably be the oldest person there. I would say it would be her. Her and the four horsewomen came out. So Charlotte is injured. Yeah, I think Billy is the vet there. I can't remember what year Oscar made main roster. But I think Bailey is the vet. So for her to get her just due, and honestly, I don't know how many years they've been doing Royal Rumble for women. I think it might have been 6 years. I think they started in 2018. I think. But I'm surprised she hadn't won it. And she's won everything. I think at the time she was the only Grand Slam Women's Champion. But now Becky's won. I could be wrong. Sasha could probably been one, to be honest, because she's won different titles. But yeah, like the match was awesome. Y'all came out. Y'all know I live for the women. Like, I was excited to see Tegan. Loved her gear. I always love her hair. Becky's hair, makeup, and gear. That my niece is her favorite color. She calls it space, like that glitter type stuff she had on her gear. Loved it. The dude that dresses her and Seth and Charlotte on them, he did that. Okay. Who else? I love Bianca. Every time she come out, get it, girl. That's my girl. Okay. Her and Liv are my girls. Okay. Tegan, I like her too. Love Cadence and Carter. Love when they came out. I was advocating for Xia Li all last year because I don't know how I ended up going down the loophole of watching random old WWE clips came on. My son that was watching something. And Zaya was on a lot of them. And I was like, why isn't she on TV? Like, I was saying that my bad stuff. So she came out, the hair and the makeup was everything. Love that she made it. Love that she had her little time on Raw and on NXT. Like, loved it. Loved the fact that Ivy came out. Ivy is nothing to play with. I lived for when Jordan came out. Jordan TNA. And people that don't watch it or don't know who she is, they know now. It's a lot of people that only watch like one set show, like either AEW or WWE or TNA or whatever. So they don't know about Jordan. And somebody had put, was like, I didn't know about like how good she is. And I said, honestly, I only started watching TNA because Trinity had went over there for support. I said, I'm gonna tell you something. I said, Jordan is a beat. She's real good. Okay. And then with her, people was like, I need her and Bianca versus each other. I said, that square up they did was everything, okay? And then when her and Now came out, Ivy Now, because I like Ivy too. That was everything. And one thing about Nia is her face gonna be beat, her hair is gonna be laid. She always looks good. I knew Jade, for some reason, this was gonna be her debut. I knew it was gonna be her debut. The square off between her and Nia was amazing. And then her and Bianca were great. I don't know what kind of wrestling or whatever that took place at AEW, but I will say that the practicing and stuff and the way has paid off. I will say for Naomi that TNA, the girls in TNA, have helped her hone in and get better at her craft of wrestling. Because when they see something in you, I feel like with WWE, Star Power, most people have never wrestled before, whatever, they could teach you and teach you enough to get you on main roster. Okay. But I feel like WWE might be maybe the softest thing of sports entertainment, even though the people get injured. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as far as like the wrestling ring and the moves and avoidance of stuff like that. Like how when Mercedes went to Japan and Billy was like, I'm too old to go over there. Basically, like, they fight tough. It's tougher over there for fighting. All of that. You see what I'm saying? I feel like for TNA, it might be something like that. Like, so, and then the girls are like making a name for themselves. Some of them are doing what they're doing to perfect their craft to get on a main roster stage, like a bigger stage like AEW or WWE. And then some women are completely fine where they're at. Like, Lord, my mind just went blank with her TNA name. She second Hall of Famer, but God, what is her name? She was out. She made an appearance at Hard to Kill. I forgot her name, Jesus. I know her WWE name was Karma. I remember seeing Jacqueline growing up and Jazz. And then Karma came, and I remember her little time on there, and then she left. And she's been in TNA since then, and she's been inducted in Hall of Fame. And I can't remember her name to save my life. And I'm gonna end up pausing it and finding out. Hold on. So her name is Kong. Her name is Kong on TNA. Okay. But yeah, like it's amazing to see. It's amazing for people to know who certain people are in different rosters. It also opens up to when you watch certain stuff like MLW or I'll say wrestling or AW or TNA or something like that, or in NJPW, it allows you to know who some of these wrestlers are. switch between brands. You're like, oh, okay, I remember. Like Impact people knew who Chelsea Green was. They knew who IAM was. LA Knight, know who Nick Aldis is. You know what I'm saying? Like people who watch Japan wrestling know who Kiari Sane is, knew who Io, Asuka, Shinsuke, AJ, and the OC were. Finn was. Like it helps because now when people like come to WWE and then like Cole or Corey mentioned like, and they have a 20-year wrestling career. You're like, 20 years where? You're like, they only been to WWE for 5, not knowing that they've been in the wrestling circuit for a while. So it helps. So like mentioned before, Jordan is a beast. Loved her. Like I said, the size up with her and Bianca, I was so excited. I was like, it's something that I did not think I needed in my life, and I need that. If not, I will settle for Jordan and Ivy now. Like, if we're doing what they call the forbidden doors or whatever, and we're switching between 2 brands, I don't know if it's going to be a regular thing or only doing pay-per-view situations, then I'm here for it. Like, if NJPW and AEW have that back and forth, we should be able to have that cycle back and forth as well. I think that they don't do it all the time. I think it's only on special events. So we'll see. I honestly don't know if it was just Triple H by himself getting that together, or because he has like people there like Nick Aldis and like Road Dogg and stuff like that have been on multiple circuits and like Impact and stuff like that. Or I'm calling it Impact, it's changed back to TNA. Does that help? Like, help you talk to the people from over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, does it help? And I love, like I said, the representation, the stare down between Jade and Bianca with everything. A lot of people were like, but they're younger than me because I'm in my mid-30s. And people were like, oh my God, the representation. This would be such a bomb match for WrestleMania. The first time and newer fans are like, the first time 2 black women will be on WrestleMania. I'm like, hello, y'all forgot about Sasha and Bianca. They did that about 6 years ago. I'm like, I'm all here, you know what I'm saying, for them representing, like them 2 being representation for WrestleMania again, because it hasn't happened in a while. And before that, for the fans that was there during the Attitude Era and the Attitude Era like me, I remember like Jacqueline and Jazz fighting. I just looked at that match this morning. It was them 2 fighting against each other to see who would win to be a contender to fight Trish for the women's championship. Like, or they'll be on opposite teams. Like, it'll be Jazz and Ivy versus like Trish and Jacqueline or something like that. Like, so they were the only, her Karma and Jazz Karma and Jacqueline were the only black women there at the time. And that I remember. If it was more, either I stopped watching or I don't remember. But I do remember because China was my girl. China and Sable were my girls, okay? When Jacqueline came on the scene, I loved Jacqueline and Ivy. I don't know why I loved Ivory back then. I don't remember. Like, my memories are locked, honestly, when it comes to certain wrestling situations. Not unless like they play it back or they say it, and I'll be like, that happened, and I have to go look it up. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I watched that when it actually happened live on TV. So yeah, like that was representation for women that watched it growing up, that were like me and was like, ooh. And then for a while, after the men, of course, are dominating, it was like Lita came on the scene, and she was like the first woman to do the high flying, and she changed the game, to be honest with you, on WWE, because I don't recall no other woman doing that at all. When she did that, she opened the whole thing like women probably like, wow, I could do that, you know. And because of her, we have people like EO and Charlotte, and high flyers like that. Because for me, Charlotte has the cleanest moonsault in the game. Now it might be somebody else that's got a better moonsault, but not in my opinion. Okay, the women came out, the surprises. I love that Roxanne. They had NXT girls there. It was Indy's second year. I think it was Roxanne's second year. Roxanne is my favorite in NXT. Ever since I watched her at Deadline last year, that's when I start sporadically watching it again. Because I was watching it when Solo entered, and then I stopped, and then I start back watching it again during Deadline because New Day had to fight Pretty Deadly for the title, and then I stopped watching it, and then I start back watching it again when Cody and Undertaker and John Cena was on that one episode after I think it was Fastlane. Was it Fastlane? No, it was before that. This bun is heavy. This is a lot of hair. And that's why I keep moving it and my bun looks jacked now. But I gotta get it off. But she's my favorite. Now, I will say, that I was surprised to see Tiffany there, but I wasn't surprised to see Tiffany there. Like Tiffany, people's like, oh my God, Tiffany Stratton. Like, you love to hate her, okay? She is a really good heel, but she is excellent at what she does. She is an excellent overall package. Like, she got the promos down. She got the look down. Like, she is a really good heel. She got the moves down. Like, you love to hate her. I see, upon watching it, NXT a couple of months, why she was women's NXT champion. Like, she got it, okay? And for her to enter in, I was like, oh, okay. Like I said, that Jade moment, when she came out, I was like, yes, Jade. The hair, the gear, probably by Miss Sandra, the daggone makeup. Did she come out? I said, not you coming out with nails. Your nails done too, okay, girl? You picking them up with nails done and you ain't breaking no nails, okay? That's a skill in itself, okay? I worked in hospitality for a while. I worked in food as a manager for a while. Even before I had a corporate office job. There's no way in hell I'm working with long nails or nails that's super long and I'm using my hands all the time or picking stuff up because I break them. So the fact that her nails were like a significant length, they weren't like super long, but they were long enough. And she picking up girls and not breaking a nail, like, go ahead. I couldn't do it because the nail would have been broke. The nail would have been broke. Okay? And then the fact that she lifted up Naya with one hand and went like this. I said, now y'all know she be in the gym. Look at her body. Like, that's genetics and work. Okay? And then she threw her over Becky's face. Becky's face. And I was crying, laughing at her face, and I said, okay, it's something, y'all gonna have something on y'all hands with her. Okay? I said, not only is she tall, she's strong. She gives modern day China with black girl excellence attached to it. If that's the best way I could describe it, okay? I was like, yeah. I was like, y'all gonna be. And then the fact that my girl came out 30th, Liv, I was here for it. I was like, yes, because some people was like, it's gonna be Sasha. I was like, Sasha ain't coming back yet. I said, if she come back, she's not gonna come back as soon as Trinity came back. It's gonna be maybe another, at the earliest, 6 months to a year. She's not coming back right now. Like, y'all forgot, she's one of those people that she has a life outside of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like how people was like, so I was reading this comment on Twitter when somebody was talking about how John Cena knew that he knows that it's almost time for him to retire, but not yet, because the new talent picks up stuff so quickly and they learn so well and they're so advanced and they're changing the game so much. It's basically like a new game, but he was like, he wants to bob out when he still is capable and at the top of his game for like his age versus going out injured or going out when he know he's past his time. And someone was like, of course John knows when to retire. He has acting outside of wrestling. Some wrestlers, that's all they got is wrestling. Like, so they'll go home. They don't know how to live a civilian lifestyle. And then they'll get bored. And then they'll come back to wrestling. Or because they have nothing else to do, they'll come back to wrestling. So they'll be old wrestling, knowing they should have been retired. And then, or they can't find their placement outside of wrestling. Like, Sasha's not one of those people. If she wanted to retire tomorrow, I feel like even though she left WWE, she would still be in the Hall of Fame eventually. I feel like, and then she would go on to do her CBD and cannabis market. She'll still go on to do modeling and fashion and photo shoots. She'll still go on to be an actress. Like, people have other stuff. Just like when Stone Cold said it took him a while to find his fitting to be a civilian because he was so used to being on the road so much. That's all he knew, that he tried acting, he hated it. So like the podcast that he has to show is the perfect fit for him. I think he did well when he was on Tough Enough too. He's the reason why I honestly started watching that, and how I found that The Miz went from real world stuff. But my hair itches. Yeah, like I don't think Sasha would be coming back that soon. And then to see like Bianca, Naomi, Jade in the ring with Liv, Bailey, who else? Becky, was somebody else. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Because I remember it was 7 girls, and I was like, oh, it's 7 left. And I was like, ooh, 3 of my black girls. I was like, go ahead. And I was like, and Liv. And then no, and I think Oscar was it because I was like, wasn't it Rhea, Oscar, and Liv last year? And I think it ended up being Liv, either Jade or Oscar or both, and Bailey. And then once Jay got kicked out, I was okay. When Trinity got kicked out, Naomi got kicked out, she set the record, I think, past Rhea's time. Because Rhea, I think, had an hour or something like that. And I think she hit it. And then I think when Jade, no, it wasn't Jade. Because Jade came 28th. I think she came 28th or 29th. When she, was it Oscar? I think hit a record after that. It was 3 records broken last night. So it might, I think, just been 2 for the women. So I think it was Naomi, and then it was Bailey who won, which I'm not mad at Bailey winning. I am ecstatic. I want to see how the story goes. A lot of people think that she's going to follow her plan and challenge Rhea. Other people think that something's going to happen with her and Damage Control before then, and it's going to cause a rift between her and them, and then she's going to challenge Io. Some of that theory is like people think that Dakota is going to be cleared and is going to be the one that betrays her, which causes her to challenge Io, which would be very, very interesting to see. Like, I would not be mad at that, honestly. That would make the storyline for the women at SmackDown like phenomenal, because they have 2 factions. You have Bloodline. Well, now you got 3, because you got, no, I don't think about it. You got 4. You got Legado de Fantasma, the new one. You got AOP. You got that's running like storylines to call Bring Hell. You got the Bloodline, and you got Damage Control, right? So if she gets betrayed by them, and like Bianca and them are fighting Damage Control individually and together and stuff like that, would Bailey, if that was the case, would Bailey like be conflicted to fight them because she's been with them for 2 years, or would it just be a rage type of situation and it will come in like rah 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 rah. I also kind of wonder the what if part of me, like if Charlotte wasn't injured, would have had the 2 women from NXT or one of them? Because I think we had all the women from the main roster. I know for sure all the Raw women were on there. Yeah, all the Raw women were there. I think so I think they would have had one less spot. But either way, I'm not mad at the outcome. That was my favorite. And when I ranked the matches earlier, it wasn't to say that the first match I picked from like worst to best was a bad match. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it sucked. Whatever. I'm just saying that all of them are great. They performed. All of the people performed, but the women's did that. Okay, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Okay, excuse me. The women did that. Truth coming out, like I said, doing Van Hollis part 24 had me dying laughing. And then she's pissed because she get kicked out in 5 seconds like Chelsea. And I'm like, is he the first male to ever try to compete in the women's Royal Rumble? Because if he did, he made history. If he did, I don't even think can't remember if he stepped in the ring or not. Like, I was so glued to the TV and then trying to tweet at the same time, and it was all happening so fast. I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it. That's the only thing about trying to communicate with social media at the same time as watching it, because I don't know. I don't do that when I'm at live events. Like certain people at live events, when they go to PLEs or just random SmackDown or Raw, and I've seen these people in the audience now. Like I know some of these people. They'll be tweeting while they're watching it, and I'm like, just be in the moment. You're live. You can upload your videos, all of that after, or you can go back home and watch it. You're here live. Like I don't tweet while I'm there, but while I'm sitting down, I'm tweeting. Okay. The matches after that, like, I don't know who to go with first. I'm going to go with the Fatal 4-Way match. Everyone came out. Try to think. Randy came out first. Then I think it was AJ, then LA, then Roman. The graphics were everything. Okay. Let me say this. Okay. Production. Okay. I'm a production nerd. I do production once a week. I live for the graphics. I live for the displays on the screen, the close-ups of the camera, how they're angled. I live for the commentary. I live for the sound. That's why I was a little upset. I was like, either the crowd was too loud, we couldn't hear the women's music, because it wasn't just me that tweeted that. Like somebody was like, I don't know some of these girls' songs. Like they need to either change their songs or they need to turn up the sound. All of that I am here for. You hear me? The fact that production showed out, I don't know who was the head of production for the Rumble. Give them a raise, okay? When Roman came out, he had his person by himself come out. You need to have one with just him and Solo, to be honest. He had him with his person came out. Daggone, when it was KO versus Logan. Logan had his with the punch. And I was like, when did he change it from the Maverick? The Phoenix. My son was like, he been changing it. I was like, no. I don't remember him been changing it. Then, during the men's rumble, when Dom's came out, the Grim Reaper, was it Dom or Finn? The Grim Reaper came out. Then when Damien came out, the Grim Reaper had an arrow that was shooting purple. Then freaking KO came out. It was the cannonball. When they showed the stadium, over the stadium showed Roman's title. Then before the U.S. the U.S. title was challenged. They showed a close-up of it. Like you could see the engravement and the side letters of WWE. And then I think when Bianca came out, her kisses turned into butterflies. And everything like production. Okay. Y'all, I was so excited when I saw that stuff. I was overwhelmed. Like, I was like, it makes the home experience so much better. Like, live is, I say this all the time. Live is live. Live is going to do live. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get your life live, especially if you're around an exciting crowd, which makes it better. And you're watching great matches, you know, and depending on your seating, you're up close and personal. When I went to SmackDown in Raleigh, we sat in the cut. So we really couldn't see when the people came out. We had to look on the screen, but we got to see the behind the scenes stuff. Like we saw Cody walk up. I knew he was going to be in the dark match because I saw him like go up to the thing. We saw like Zelina and Bianca walk back there. I saw all the soundboard, the things for the soundboards for production. Like I was getting my life and I could see the cameras and stuff over there. But like when we sat in DC in the middle, was it SmackDown? We went to DC last year in March. Yeah. We could see everything. Everyone came out, like everything. We weren't too close. We weren't too far. We're right there. See everything right there in the middle of the ring. When we was in Raw in Charlotte, we was one over from the center. We could still see people come out. The fireworks were louder because we were closer, but it was still a good show. You know what I'm saying? The crowd makes it, but the TV experience with production is on point. You can hear Chris stuff, every comment, the commentary. You can hear their music come out, fireworks and stuff like that for the people that do the setup and the pyros and all that. The daggone graphics on the screen. Hear KP and Cole or Corey and Wade, whoever the four are. You hear Samantha or Mike clearly, or Alicia if she's there, if one of them are on vacation. You can hear the wrestlers talking trash, depending on how close the daggone camera is, and depending on the angle, you could see certain stuff that you wouldn't pay attention to if you was watching live. Like it reels us in. And honestly, I say they're the unsung heroes because for me, without production, like a lot of people really wouldn't be fans. Like if they had, say like just 4 cameras, and they show one that goes like, shows the commentary with Cole and them, might show each side of the ring, the entrance, and then the other 2 show the ring. It probably wouldn't be as exciting, but when you see the cameras, you can see them coming down from the bottom, see the whole crowd over. You can see up close. You can see every single angle. Oh, I just live for it. Okay, live for it. So that match with Roman and them, I was like, Roman is in trouble. Okay, when they came out, I don't know I forgot what happened. I think he got slammed on his back, and he was like, oh, because I was like, Joe live here in Florida. I wonder if his wife and his kids are here to watch him wrestle. You know what I'm saying? And then once he got slammed, so I said, oh, I hope they ain't here. I said, because I think he had said something like in an interview, something like his boys are young and they might not understand it. They might think like daddy hurt. And of course the ring is hard, and of course it hurts, but like hurt. So I feel like you might have to be a certain age for your kids to come, or they have to understand from an early age. And then when he got slammed on the announcement table and it didn't break, I said, I didn't know he gonna have to ice his back later. And then Randy, I think, got slammed. LA was about to get slammed. Then was it LA that I was about to pin Roman, and then AJ came down, and then of course one of the bloodline came out. So before the men's Royal Rumble, I was like, I wonder if Solo is going to be in the Royal Rumble. That would be exciting for him to be in it. And when he came out, I said he ain't in it. Then when he ran out like that and tried to run up against I think AJ, ran through the barricade, and AJ came out, and someone was like, you almost hit Samantha. I honestly ain't even notice that part. My part was, you ran full speed, like you playing football now, to that barricade, and you got knee problems, like you got on knee braces. Like, dog. Okay, you was out at NXT a little bit cause you need situation. You might want to calm that down. Just saying. I mean, we all here for entertainment too, but we want y'all to be healthy because if y'all are out, then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, not only can't you, like, we won't be insane. You'll have your fans missing you and stuff on TV, but then it's like feeding your family and stuff like that. All that comes to a halt. All of that comes to the halt. And if you don't have an exciting, you're not a part of an exciting story, you can get left in the dust. Especially if it takes like longer than a certain number of months to bring you back. You know what I'm saying? And then all of that happened. Of course, you hear Paul talking, and he ends up retaining, which I was like, because I was like, if he don't get no help this match, it'll be awesome. Okay, that proves to everybody, especially in a 4-way match, you got it. But then it so it helped. It was no DQ because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, I can't remember. I didn't hear if it was no DQ or not, but it wasn't. It was no DQ. So I was like, okay. So Solo coming out, he can come out, whatever. He won. You know, that's not gonna finish the bloodline. Excuse me. Somebody was like, is Randy wrestling for real? Like, is he seriously hurt? Because I was like, yeah, he's had matches in SmackDown, but I don't think he's had matches this extent since his injury a year and a half ago. And I forgot he was gone for a year and a half. Also, then it was a KO Logan fight. Logan tried everything in his power to win that. He even tried to, I forgot what the move is he was trying to do. And KO kept giving. I said one thing about KO, okay? He's one of the most versatile wrestlers in WWE, in my opinion. Him and Ivar. They can do any move you got, they could do. And KO is an average size man. Ivar is a big man. But then to be able to do most of the moves that they're not one of these wrestlers that got about 2-3 moves. That's it. Okay? But before that, I wonder why Roman don't wear regular like gear, as far as like why he always got them pants and that belt. Like, I know like the Usos got some type of like sweatpants situation, they put the patches on, but why he don't wear shorts or something like that? Has he always worn them pants even in the Shield? Like, he's never worn anything new? Has that always been the case? I was just wondering. And then 2, when they play his music long enough, his Tribal Chief music long enough, for a split second, it goes from his Tribal Chief music to the Big Dog music, because it goes doo-doo, doo-doo. And I say, is that an error? Or did they record it like that? I had to ask, because I was like, this is not the first time that's happened. That's happened, I think, at I don't think he wasn't at Survivor Series. No, because it was a Judgment Day. I think it happened the last time he had a match. I think it was at Crown Jewel? I want to say. Last time he had a match, and a couple of other times. I was like, so is that a production error? Is that a recording error? Or is that just a blend, and whoever mastered and mixed the music when it was in the studio ain't do a good job? Or he just wanted to leave that small little second in there for a reminder of what his music used to be like? Like, I'm confused on that part. But yeah, like Logan tried everything in his power, and people were like, "Oh, KO down, Canada." I said one thing about KO, he's very versatile. He's very resilient. I always say that he's one of the most resilient wrestlers. Him, Finn, Seth, Dolph. Him, Finn, Seth, Dolph. I will say, it's somebody else I used to say. But you're not going to just pin them down after, even if you use your finisher, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen. You could try everything in your power. It's not happening. KO could be on one leg, and he would still find a way to kick out. And then they try to help. Then here come Theory and Grayson little, when they people saying like little selves come out and try to help him because his homeboy couldn't help with the knuckles. He grabs them and then about to pin him, and because the ref sees it, he doesn't get the title. So people like, some people, it's mixed reviews because people are like, oh, the story continues, they're excited. And then some people are pissed off. He's like, dude, it's not his fault. And then I saw a tweet talking about shout out to a ref that did their job, basically effectively did their job. Like, you can't knock a ref for doing his job and doing a great job at it. And then someone's like, yeah, out of all the times to not do your job, to want to do your job, now you can see today. I was like, but just having the story continue, the only downside is because Grayson and Theory don't like KO. So if Logan comes back, he kind of got backup. You know what I'm saying? Like, Grayson and Theory kind of have allies with Logan. They kind of have allies with Pretty Deadly somewhat. Like, who does KO have? You know what I'm saying? Like, he has Sammy, but Sammy's on Raw. Sammy felt like a little upset at one point in time because he was like, his friend is on another brand. But I understand why he left. At first, I didn't get it. Because when I met KO, he was doing solo stuff. He wasn't, and he had his KO show up and thriving. He wasn't doing tag team stuff. He can, but I think he's still better as a solo act, in my opinion. So it's fitting to me that he does it, but I hope that he gets some allies, because if he stays, he's on that brand until, what is it? The when does the trade normally take place? After, is it after WrestleMania or is it after Money in the Bank, right? Which one is it? Is it Money in the Bank? They don't, oh, after Backlash, right? Backlash is in May. Yeah, because it's WrestleMania, Backlash, Money in the Bank. So I can't remember if it was after WrestleMania or after Backlash where the trades take effect. But hopefully either he finds people here he could be allies with, or it'll just be like basically 1 versus 3. Because if either one of them decide to fight him and then Logan just so happened to be there, then that's a situation. And then the men's. So the men's WrestleMania, to me, it had his moments, but I don't think it was exciting as the three matches I had just talked about. This is in my opinion. Like, when the first one came out and it was Jay, my son, as soon as he hears, ooh, that's all it takes for him. I'm like, they not even to the wave part yet. He 9. Like, they're not even at the wave part yet. He don't care. And he going hard. I said, I know them arms hurt. So then when they start waving, then he's doing it, but he's not doing it as much. So as soon as his music came out, I said, watch his brother be number 2. Here come his brother. I said, ooh, snap. So I was like, I wonder if... So then they start talking. They get there, they face off. So my thing was, and I like Jimmy's music. My thing was, is this it? Because I remember on Chris Van Velt's, like I said, last 2 years, my son has been binge watching like Uso stuff. So we ended up watching an interview when they was in New York for Kofi Mania that year. And the Usos were on it. They were tag team title champions. For SmackDown, I think. They had the blue belts for SmackDown. And they were talking about their dream match. And they said their dream match would be to fight each other on the main stage, and then maybe their dad being a ref or something. So I'm like, well, they kind of got it because they were up against each other for a minute and a half. But does that count, or will they get something else? Because after he left, Jay's been on Raw since September, right? So it's been about 4 months. He ain't been with his brother, riding with his brother and stuff. So I'm like, how is that? I wonder how that dynamic is when you have a twin and you basically lived your whole life with them. Like even now, they're married and they're in 2 different homes and stuff like that. Like y'all work together, so y'all still are together a lot. But since September, not unless y'all see each other Saturday and Sunday, y'all aren't together all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that? The only thing about Jimmy staying on SmackDown is he has his other brother Solo, and then when Roman comes, he has Roman. The good thing about Jay being being on the roster for so long is that he has people like, the New Day and stuff, and Cody and stuff he can kick it with over there. He has a cousin over there too. He has Nia over there too, but she probably riding with somebody else. So I was like, that's interesting. What was also interesting is I can't even say his name right. Andre. I forgot who came out 4th and 3rd. Honestly, I do. I know Mello, I think, came out 5th. I think Santos came out 7th. I want to say Andre came out 3rd or 4th, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that. Okay, so now I'm looking at the list. So Grayson came out 3rd, and him and Jimmy teamed up on Jay, and then Andre came out, and Drandre came out. I think that's how you say it. Carmelo came out. Shinsuke Santos was 7. And then Karrion, Dominic, Carlito, Bobby, Ludwig. Yeah, I remember that because I remember them coming out. Santos thought he had an ally on Andre, and he didn't. Karrion came out, and then Dominic came out, and then Carlito came out, and that was him and Santos, stuff like that again. And then Bobby came out, and when Bobby came for Dominic, he tried to play like he was scared, and then he wasn't. So then Bobby eliminated Carlito and Karrion, and then Karrion came and eliminated Bobby because there's no DQs and stuff like that. So then when Ludwig came out, they was all fighting. Arthur's a Pain, Karrion, Street Profits that came out, which I was sad that neither one of them made the Royal Rumble list, but they had Carmelo from NXT on there. Like, and they had Braun on there. And Pat on there. Like, y'all could have added somebody from Street Profits. Like, I feel like they shouldn't be overlooked like that. Like, if Montez is not in Elimination Chamber and in a WrestleMania situation this year, like, I feel like it's going to be a problem. Because he was so great in the Elimination Chamber last year that I was like, okay, he's ready to become a superstar and have a solo title. Like, everybody always loves when Kofi comes out. I knew Bronson was going to be a problem. But and then Pat came out. I ain't seen Omos, honestly. When Omos came out, I was surprised because I ain't seen him in a while. But I had also mentioned that all the big people or the main people that he had wrestled with, he has beaten him. So I'm like, where do you go from there? And then I said, I feel like he should be on NXT or house shows, something like that, to hone in on his skills, the Performance Center, and then come back. And then when he came back, I don't even think he was in there that long. If I'm being honest, he came in and he was in there for 2 minutes. Pat came in there, they called his thing, and then he looked, and then he was like, nope. And I said, they about to let this man wrestle in dress shoes. And then people were saying word on the curb was it was supposed to be Brock, but because of this allegation situations, or because I think he just didn't want to, that he didn't do that. But that's when you should have replaced him with a Street Profit. Like, it was funny. It was all in good fun, humor, but they should have replaced him. And let me tell you something. I always say about Carmelo and Trick, I feel like, especially last year, that Carmelo should have been main roster. But now, after reevaluating 2023 and 22, I feel like if Carmelo doesn't hit main roster, Braun Breaker needs to be main roster. The way he was coming for them people in that ring, okay? The way he wrestles like that in NXT, how good he is, bruh. If he come main roster, it's going to be a situation, okay? Like, it's going to be a situation. And because, like I said before, Raw is more, I feel like more cutthroat, has more of a challenge for him. I could see him on Raw. Like, I feel like SmackDown would be too easy for him, if I'm being honest. But like he went in there and went ham, okay, all the way. And then when Truth came out, he thought it was a tag team match. And then I was looking at how in the past he thought it was a Money in the Bank match. I was like, when is he's so silly that you forget how good of a wrestler he is until he wrestles. Because when he wrestled JD on Raw a couple weeks ago, I was like, dang, I forgot how good of a wrestler he is, because he's so goofy. Then I liked when him and Miz came out. When Miz and him came out, they was like a tag team. And they did a clap and a little dance and stuff like that. And then Miz tried to eliminate Dominic or Tominic. And he swung around, was like, no, you can't do that. And it's like, you're not part of the Judgment Day. He was like, I am. And then Don tried to play it off like he is. So then Damien comes out, and as soon as Damien come out, he eliminates R-Truth. Okay? Everybody was rooting for CM Punk to, and I was like, this is CM Punk first time wrestling since he's been back, right? Like, with Randy, it's a glare in my glasses. With Randy, he's been wrestling ever since. Couldn't wait to get back in. Not CM Punk, he's been doing a lot of talking promos. I don't think he's wrestled. So it was to see. I love the fact. I'm gonna get to that later. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that right now. But and then Ricochet came out, and I was like, oh, my man's Rick. Okay. And honestly, as much complaining and trash that Drew's been talking, I forgot he was in the Royal Rumble, and he came in second to last. I had a smile on my face when number 30 ended up being Sami Zayn. Like, I had a smile, and the smile stayed there for a while, because I saw the match when he got injured, and I didn't know how long he was going to be out. I think he left, I want to say right after either October or November. And I think they told him it was going to be 4 months. So it's January now. Either the injury wasn't as bad, or he just recovered and got cleared quite faster than he thought. But I was so glad to see him back in the fold. I'm so glad to see him back in the fold. I was happy. Like, and the fact that his pop, the pop that he had, like I just loved it. He was eliminated by Drew. But the fact that after they played his song, the audience was still singing his song. I was like, Sammy has always been a beast. Like, short hair Sammy, to me, in my opinion, from what I've seen, was a beast. I see Sammy, he became a real faction when he was on the Bloodline. From last April, I think. No, April 2022 or May of 2022 till February of 2023. He became a pretty, so now he's a staple. He's one of those songs, and then he got one of those songs you sing along to. His song, Shinsuke song, Becky, Seth song, like the whoa, like all of that. So, I'm so happy. And then I like that the stare down with CM Punk and Cody ended up being what it was, them two at the end. I love the fact that people thought that CM Punk was going to win and he did. People was like, oh, CM Punk's going to go. It's going to be a situation with him and Seth. And yeah, it's just going to be a situation. We know with Wrestlemania, okay, that all of the matches are all the titles are up. So whoever has the titles between now and April is going to be in a match, but we don't know who they're wrestling up against. That's the thing. Like the only thing with Royal Rumble is the man and the woman that won get to choose who. So if like Bailey, for instance, might go with Io, then they'll have to pick somebody to go against Rhea. And it could be Bianca. That'll be a good match. And then if Cody decides to finish his story and go with Roman, because he pointed, Roman was talking, Seth and Roman were in boxes, they were talking trash, and I could have sworn that the way that they were, the camera was angled on each of them, they were sitting next to each other. But I think when they backed up a little bit, they each had their own box, because I think when they backed away from, like, zoomed out until Roman's box and was zooming in, it was a cameraman to the right, and then it was Roman and Paul sitting on the left, or their right, my left. So then that's gonna be interesting. So even if CM Punk didn't win the Royal Rumble, it's not to say that he still won't have a match at WrestleMania against Seth. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that I was confused as to why like Asuka and Gunther were in it. And I know in the past it's been like that. They was like Gunther did it last year. But I think he had to defend his title at WrestleMania last year too. So I'm like, if he would have won, he would have had to wrestle twice. You know what I'm saying? Like his IC title would have been up. So he would have had to wrestle like Saturday, right? Saturday. And then Sunday he would have had to wrestle for the main title. Like, is that how we doing? You know what I'm saying? I want Rhea's match to be something phenomenal, because the way that her and Charlotte wrestled last year at WrestleMania, I wish I was there live. That's like Sammy and KO fighting the Usos was a nail biter, and that's because my son is such a Usos fan. Like, that's his favorite tag team. Jay is number one for him. He loves the Bloodline. But it could and then that's his favorite. It's tag team because Jay's in it. But it interchanges between them, Alpha Academy, and New Day. for second. New Day Academy interchanges between second and third for him. But he was pissed when they lost. Like, he didn't want to watch no more WrestleMania. I had to talk him into watching the next day. For me, I screamed. I was like, ah! Like, I was so excited. I can imagine what the adrenaline and what the energy was like in that stadium. I could just imagine. And then I don't even know how many seats the Eagles stadium fills. Like, honestly, if you want to do a place that's bigger than LA as far as stadium wise, you would have to go to Maryland to the Redskins Stadium, right? How many seats does the stadium in LA got? Or is there's or the because at one time I remember the Redskins had the biggest stadium, and then Dallas came after them and had an even bigger stadium. So for them to have like 81,000 something, that's crazy. Okay, it does say, yeah, it says the MetLife, Western New York and Jersey. So that's the stadium where the Giants and the Jets are. So they have the biggest stadium that seats 82,000. Okay, so that's just the seats. And WrestleMania has people in the seats and chairs on the floor. Can you imagine how many people? Oh, the FedEx Field is not the biggest anymore. Can you imagine how many people like could fit with the seats in it? That's crazy. Like, I'm looking it up right now. So MetLife, Packers and Giants Stadium, just the seats alone. This is just the seats alone. 82.5. The Packers Stadium, 81.41. Cowboys, 80. Okay. Chiefs, 76.416. Broncos, 76.125. Panthers, 75.523. Y'all could come to Charlotte then for real. Because where they had it last year, they had it at the SoFi Stadium. That only holds 70. The Panthers got 5,000 more seats. The Eagles, they done went down a little bit because the Eagles Stadium, Lincoln Financial Field, only holds 69,596 seats. So that's the seats. Then you have to put the ring, that long ramp they always do, and then seats around it. But just the seat, like that, honestly, if you was going to do a bang for the 40th, just for the capacity wise, and with WrestleMania being, I think the first one being in Madison Square Garden, they should have had it in Jersey at the MetLife Stadium. It would have been full circle. You know what I'm saying? And then the MetLife and then would it been the 40th anniversary on top of that. So it's an anniversary age. Then the MetLife Stadium having the biggest capacity of seats. That would have been the move. I don't know if they have a concert or something that weekend, y'all couldn't book it, but that should have been booked. I don't know who y'all booking person is. That should have been the stadium to book. Okay, so because how you go from the SoFi Stadium that holds 70,000 to the Eagles Stadium that holds 404 less people, that holds 69,596, and that's just me off the top of my head. Like, I don't know. Okay, I don't. The year before that, I think they said it was in Texas, right? They said it was in Houston, and they're not even on here. Are the Texans on here? Oh yeah, they are. They're 72,220. So every year y'all go down. Like, that's crazy. Need to have it in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Have it in Baltimore, Charlotte. Okay, so the top largest stadiums, top 10, the MetLife, the Packers joint, the Cowboys joint's third, Chiefs is fourth, Broncos is fifth, and Denver. I don't know if they got a dome or not because it's still cold in April. Charlotte, sixth. The Saints is 7th, but I don't think they have WrestleMania in the Caesar Superdome. Don't they have it next to it, or did they have it? But they had it there in the last 5, 6 years, the last 10 years. So Texans is 8th. The Bills is 9th. I don't think they don't have a dome either, and it gets cold. And then the Ravens is 10th. So if we're going based off of weather and stuff, and I understand it because it's still cold in a lot of those places, and a lot of those northern stadiums don't have domes for some reason, which I think is stupid, but the southern ones do. Like, what are we blocking in the south? It get cold, but it don't get cold like that. Like, I don't. Anyways, I was just trying to figure out like why not have it why not have it there. To me, it made more sense. But if you guys did counter in like weather and stuff like that, then it does make sense to have it. But then Philly gets cold too, and I don't think Philly got no dome either. I don't. I'm reevaluating my life because I'm like, do the Eagles have a dome in their stadium? I don't know. I'm over here Googling and making videos. Yeah, so I'm looking now. Now unless they got a retractable dome type situation where stuff comes up when it gets dark. Philly don't have no dome either. So y'all, yeah. So I'm standing 10 toes down. Y'all could have just had it in New York. Full circle. Just had it in New York. Like if the fans is gonna be there and they gonna be cold, you might as well let them be in New York and be cold, and then have more seating available, more revenue for y'all, you know, and then more fans able to buy tickets. Just saying. But so what I was about to say, and I said I'll come back to it. I love the fact that Cody won. He broke the record for Stone Cold. I thought he was gonna win anyway because he didn't win last year. That was just a setup, to set him up to have a line to finish the story or whatever. But ever since they revealed that his family is going to be on one of the covers of 2K24, I said there's no way in hell that he has a chance to have a rematch. And this is he's been back a year. It's officially been a year because he came back last Royal Rumble. And they're not going to let him rematch Roman again. The way that they sized each other up, when I want to say it was the SmackDown before, was it SmackDown or Raw? Before Cody and Jay had to defend their undisputed tag team titles against the Judgment Day, they sized up the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? So it was already brewing if you pay attention to the clues. I like the fact this year that he came in at number 15. I didn't like the fact last year that he came in at number 30. Like, I understand, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to save the biggest surprise for last. But like I said last year, it would have been more believable for me. This is for me. It would have been more believable and more exciting for us as people in the audience if he would have came in mid-card. Remember I said last year, I was like, if he would have came in between 15 and 18, it would have been exciting for him if he won, because then it was like, okay, he been gone. It's something to prove. He actually been in there for a while. It's exciting. Of course, your chances is higher if you come in 30. Like, the chances of you have the most energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course. That's why when he won last year, he was like, oh, I wasn't that excited. Like, the fact that you came in at 15, I'll be like, okay, now we doing something. The fact you came in at 30 and won, that's expected. Like, okay. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so amazing that Bailey won. She came in third. Like I said, only because I feel like it's her time. And um she came in third. I also felt like last year was Santos' time before Ray had that injury. Oh, he had the injury and Ray won the US title instead. And I thought that last year was going to be a time for the Street Profits, or at least Montez. I hope this year is like that for them, for him, because he got it. Okay, y'all, like how the crowd responds to LA Knight. I feel like it should have been Montez. Like, I'm not hating on LA Knight, and I like LA Knight, but I feel like that could be Montez, or Montez could be bigger than that, in my opinion. If y'all just let him do his promos, because he's one of my favorites on the mic, and he hones in on his wrestling, keeps honing in on that, it'll be, I think he got it. You know what I'm saying? I think over time, y'all keep letting Michin out there. She got that too. Okay, that match with her and EO. Okay, that Christmas match with them and she in it. I was here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Let me wrap this up because I know it's probably been an hour and a half, 2 hours. I said it was gonna be short, and it's been a couple days later after the Royal Rumble. I had to get my thoughts together, get my life together. Y'all know, with people that are parents, especially if you're a single parent like me, it'd be a lot going on, especially on the weekends, and if your child plays sports. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to get these videos out if my child is sick, or if we've been running around doing sporting all day and then I'm exhausted, I got to get a nap in, and then I'm halfway falling asleep in videos because I don't worked all day. Then went to practice, then went to a game, then got to cook, then sit here and try to watch it, and then I'm watching it. By the time 9:30 come in, I'm struggling. Then I watch it through and was like, I can't do no video. I'm tired as hell. I don't drink coffee. If it's not tea, I can't. So I just let the chips fall where they may and be like, I'll come back to it. But I hope you guys have an incredible week. Forgot before I even got in there. Then I watched the press conference, okay? Pam, you in that green dress, okay? I don't know if it was the dress or if you're getting thicker, but that is ridiculous, okay? If I had what Pam had, what Trinity said, you know I'm bottom heavy, and one of her thing, girl, couldn't tell me nothing. Like the little blue in her hair. Love that how in her conference she was like, she was excited, you know, when they showed it back and I looked it back, I was like, she was holding back tears or whatever. It's her time. I didn't know she never won the Royal Rumble, but then again, the Royal Rumble's only been around for 6 years. So I'm just like, I'm so happy for her. I can't wait to see what leads up to WrestleMania. I'm so excited to see what she is. I know some people weren't even going to WrestleMania, but because she won, they going. And then same for Cody. Like they was on the fence. Like if CM Punk won, they wasn't going, or some were. If Cody won, some were going somewhere. And then for Cody to come out, and then for Dallas Diamond Page to come and ask him a question, he was doing good. I said that man got tears in his eyes. It's about the third or fourth time between him winning and him talking to Dallas that he's had tears in his eyes. I was like, the way y'all could hold them tears in, I said before, y'all got it. Because I'd have been in that press conference boo-hooing. You hear me? I love also the fact that some of the wrestlers have been so familiar with some of these reporters that they know them by name and they're comfortable with getting a question asked by them. Like when somebody asked Cody a question, he was like, I know who you are. You introducing like, I don't know who you are. And he was like, basically formality for the people that don't, you know. And then as of recently, I think Denise, I follow her on social media. I think she's been able to ask a question at almost every press conference the past year, or at least every other one. I ain't mad at it though, you know what I'm saying? Get your bag, record the whole thing. So even if you don't ask questions, you can type it up in your blog or your video, whatever you do, like go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be in a room is an accomplishment. I'm excited. I'm happy for everybody that's representing something, especially if this is something that you love. If this is something that you love and you never thought you could turn into a career or a part-time career or just a hobby or whatever, and you're out here doing like living your dream or helping people become wrestlers because you know people at different wrestling schools or know different refs or something like, and you're helping that, and that's your part of helping the next generation of wrestlers. Like, do what you do. I'm all here for it. I'm all here for the diversity. I'm all here for the representation. I'm all here for especially the women that are in this thing, doing podcasts, doing reporting, doing photography, all of that. Y'all know I'm an advocate for us women. It's already hard for us in society. They want to give us double the work, half the pay, or the same. We do the same work and get half the pay or less. And then if you're a woman of color, it's even harder. So shout out to all of y'all because y'all are doing it. You hear me? I'm not gonna cry. I said I was a crier. I am happy for all of you guys. Like, and then Triple H come out and he answers his questions. You know, he gives his numbers, he gives his stats. And then they asked him questions about the whole Vince thing, which I was surprised that they were allowed to do. I was more like, I thought like when they was going to come in, the people were going to be like, hey, when y'all come in, y'all can't ask allegations about the allegations. We already took care of that. When more stuff come out, y'all will know in the news. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a couple of reporters that are close with some of the wrestlers and they get some of their news from that. And that's how stuff leaks and stuff like that. Don't know who it is. Don't care. It's not my business. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that people are asking him, he kept it PC. But also, you have to look at it in the sense of that's still his wife's dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say but so much. For one, from a business standpoint, and from two, a personal standpoint. Even if you want to. Because I feel like not unless your wife gives you permission from a personal standpoint to say something, it's not your place to say anything. And then for him being the top creative, I don't know what his creative director, whatever, for the company, he can't say anything even if he wanted to say something. I'm like, y'all expect this man to answer? Why did y'all think he was going to answer? Like, that's what I was confused about. Like, okay, y'all asked, but that's why he was like, I'm trying to focus on the positive, the Netflix deal, all that. I'm like, okay. Like, I got it. And then somebody else going to go back and ask a question after that. Like, you ain't just hear him. He not going to. My question is, this is my question. He's related to JoJo, the singer, the Get Out, singer. She sings my song. I can't even think of it now. I think it's Don't Talk Me Down, right? On her latest thing or the thing before that, her latest EP or the one before that. That's my song. How close are y'all? That's the question I want to know. Because why she hasn't recorded a song for Wrestlemania or a song for somebody's entrance track, something like she sings down. You hear me? Why your niece not performing nobody's song? Okay, why is it always The Weeknd or what's that old man name from Black Sabbath? Ozzy Osbourne. It used to be Creed all the time. Like, why we keep getting the same like 3 artists? It was Bad Bunny for Backlash, which is understandable because it was Puerto Rico. He was the host, whatever. But why we not getting new people? That's what I want to know. Like, that would have been the question I asked. Like, can you get her to do a song? Just saying. It ain't gotta be a WrestleMania song. Can you get her to do the song for like the intro or something? Something. Like, y'all be having talent in y'all laps in y'all family and don't be asking nothing. Like, is it a relational thing? Like, y'all ain't really close like that? Is it the board said no, or the people who are on the team with you, you lost the vote? Like, what? That's what I want to know. Okay. And I just found out that was his niece like 2 years ago. Because I was like, what is her last name? I think I was looking at her, or a year and a half ago, I was looking up her name on Masked Singer, because my son and I watched that show. And I was like, oh, that's her last name. And I was like, where have I seen that last name before? Triple H's last name. It's like, that's her uncle. Like, nigga, what? Like, that's like, is she a wrestling fan? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, can we get some different people to do the songs? Okay? Like, can we do a person, or if not, can we do, okay, so like, say, last year was LA. Y'all had Snoop come out and host it. Could we have somebody from LA do the Wrestlemania song for that year? And then this year it's in Philly. Can we have someone from Philly do the Wrestlemania thing for? And it ain't even gotta be. It could be like the Roots. It could be Jill Scott. It could be Pink. You know what I'm saying? It could be Meek Mills. It could be anybody from. If it's a rock group from it could be Bon Jovi. Okay, somebody Philly. Boom. Next city. Where you going next year? Have an artist from that city do a song. Like, make it tailored to the city. Basically. Do that. I don't know. I'm just spitting stuff out here at this point. I don't even know. But to me it makes sense. It might not make sense to everybody. But anyways, I'm about to get off here. Yeah. So enjoy your week. Have a good week. Love you all. Bye.